Okay, folks, if you're trying to get any kind of idea like where your grade might fall, I wanted to at least just show you kind of what an A might look like. And so this is an example right here, and you can see, like, notice how the image that I have at the top, it scales, but it doesn't scale down too far. In this case, it doesn't get any smaller. That's using a min width. But then otherwise it does scale. You'll notice also that according to the instructions, you had to either use a background image for the main background or a linear gradient, in which case you see the sort of pink to blue is a linear gradient. But in addition, I went ahead and I put a background texture behind some of the sections, like including this intro, like banner type area, and then articles have a background. It's this sort of wood texture, but they have like an RGBA with an alpha transparency color overlay. You'll see that each of these has a hover state. Um, you'll notice that all of the design challenge things are met in terms of all of the requirements specifically are met. Like, you'll notice that there are box shadows, text shadows. All of the elements are properly styled. All of the links have styling. You'll notice that there are no bright blue links with underlines anywhere. You see that the footer is styled so that it sort of matches the header, so it feels like it's beginning and ending. So anyway, the point is, all of these things are treated with intention. There's a border radius, which is not required, but if that's something that you think is going to enhance your design, it doesn't have to have that. But I want you to kind of think about going above and beyond to get a solid A. To get an A, it doesn't have to go exactly fully above and beyond, but it has to be pretty exceptional. And I just want you to kind of pay attention to the way that some of these things are done. Visually, also pay attention to making sure that the color contrast is really good, that your line length doesn't get too long, that your type is not hard to read. That's a big part of it. If you're curious how I did, for instance, the circular look on my picture, it has to start off as a square picture. It can't be any other size picture. And you can put a border radius of 50% all the way around it. And it essentially takes each quarter or corner and treats it as a quarter, and it cuts it in half. So that creates a perfect circle. You give it some padding with a white background, you can start to see this edge around it, or you could put a border around it, or you could do both, or you could also, in addition to that, add a box shadow, which is what it has. But by no means do you have to make it circular. You don't even have to change the shape of it all. It could be square, it could be rectangular, however you want. Something to also consider is if you don't make it 50% all the way around, you can also leave some of the corners sharp edges while other ones are actually rounded, so it becomes like a teardrop shape. Or you could have a leaf shape with 2 sharp corners and 2 rounded corners. Anyway, I just want you to start thinking about the things that you can do with CSS that are pretty fantastic, actually, and use this to really explore. That's what this assignment is for.